entertaining, cool. You're listening to LA Talk Radio.
You're listening to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak, with iLan Azoulai, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, welcome to Abracadabra, Create What You Speak. I'm iLan Azoulai, I'm a spiritual mentor and a sound therapist for you who are ready to reclaim your power, to discover your gifts and to shine them to the world. No fear and only love. And this is a program of empowerment where I bring people who are in their element, they are in their gifts, they're in their process, they're in their journeys to discover and to encourage other people. These are the times where we are now in encouraging others to come and to expand themselves. For a lifetime, we've been searching for meaning of life, right? For that event or concept that will be our golden ticket to, or even the golden ticket itself. While all along, if anything, these past months have taught us is that we need to shed away all that doesn't serve us. All those filters that we've been adding on ourselves, all those filters that we've been adding to our spiritual existence. We're learning to release all that doesn't serve us, all these beliefs that skewed our own belief in believing in everything but ourselves. It is a painful process and sometimes it is a lengthy one, something that only time can actually guide in healing. All this and more, I believe, is to eventually arrive to a place where we can all call home, where we can be recognized, where we can be seen. There's no judgment, accepting us, a place where all has begun from, a place of wonder. To arrive to a place of wonder, once again, we must exercise this muscle of imagination. Wonder is a place within that children inhabit because, unlike adults, they have the key of what truth really is, a place of wonder, a place of joy. My guest today on the show is Gina Ann. She's a mom, an educator, an author, and a coach. Over 17 years, she's been teaching children ranging from preschool to high school in the academic, physical, and special education, allowing her to flourish her gifts and to bring it back to the children. As a published children's author from Hay House, she's been invited on many podcasts and radio shows, sharing her professional experience. And she specializes in the inner child of all walks of life, embracing her clairvoyant and empathetic gifts to tap directly into the collective unconsciousness where all information is shared, available, and is in the now. So without further ado, I'm really happy to have here Gina.
Hi, I'm great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the invite here. I'm very honored to be here and speak with you and share our stories and exchange our gifts to the world.
Amen. Yeah. Well, it's a pleasure having you here. So Gina, I mean, most of people become moms. Most of people have children. But what pushed you to write a children's book? Books, should I say? I have two of them.
Well, yes, I've always been a storyteller and written poetry since I was very young. And I grew up in a small town called Aledo, Texas. So I lived on 60 acres of land, animals, plants. And so that's where my imagination flourished. We also had an alligator in one of our tanks, Charlie. And he's in one of my books.
You had an actual alligator that
alligator.
Was alligator. How do you pet an alligator?
I didn't. I just would feed it bread. It liked the crust of the bread. So again, I've always written stories. I've always told stories. I knew from a very young age that I was always in tune with my inner child. But you know how life experiences take over. I know I always wanted to be a mama, and I am. And so even being an educator, a teacher, a mom, it allows me, my inner child, to come out and play all the time. And so what I do now, I'm an intuitive spiritual counselor, but I
Mhm.
do specialize with children, teens, and adults, but the inner child. So
Is it
when I wrote these books, how she came to birth was I was getting my master's in spiritual psychology, and we had a second year project, and I'm like, I'm going to write a children's book,
okay? So
and
it started
couldn't
as
find,
it started as an experiment,
just to see. Yeah, I'm just going
oh,
to
that's
put it on
cool.
paper and see where it goes. And the issue is I don't know how to draw. I can't even draw a circle. So I was looking for an illustrator and couldn't find one. And I called Hay House and they're like, "Can we read your manuscript?" I'm like, "Sure." And so that's how it came about. And now I published three, and my fourth one will go live in February.
Wow,
Yeah.
congratulations. So
So
yeah, so let's talk about those because I believe
yeah,
that those characters that you're writing in the book, or the main character in the book, is actually
is my inner child.
is you.
Yes, JoJo. She was, the story is she is from the galaxy in the wings of children, and she is
I have here a couple of
ah,
books. I have this
love
book,
it.
I have this book and
Yes,
this book, and we'll talk
yes,
about
and
Christo
Oh
later.
no,
Oh, there you
Jojo.
go.
Yes, that's Oh no, Jojo. And then
Yeah.
actually Christo is after my son, Christopher.
Yes.
So, and then
Yeah.
my fourth book is after my daughter. It's Jojo joins the sea show, and she's a sea angel.
Yeah.
But Jojo's come to the planet to share love and kindness with the world and
Mm,
compassion, and that everybody has gifts. It doesn't matter how different or unique, we're all special
that is
and
correct
needed in this world. We're brought to this planet for a reason.
for a reason. Yeah, I love
And
it.
she had to come to her own. She went through her own pain. Her wing got torn and she thought, "Oh no, I can't fly anymore." And so the generosity of spirit and came along, and whether at the end it's up to you to determine why she's able to fly again. I always leave it to the reader, and it really is for children, but it's for adults as well. I've been to
Listen,
Skid Row. I've
yeah.
been I've been everywhere with JoJo, and she just resonates, and all the lovable and relatable characters in her stories
Mm.
are life experiences.
Yeah. Well, I read the books. You know what first of all, these are great written. What I liked about them is the wonder, and the wonder not just of the character herself or but let's talk about the character about Jojo herself, but also me as a reader, because sometimes I found myself I'm being thrown. I was like, wait, what? You know, and it's you don't have to take a lot to be to be thrown away. If it is good, it'll throw you away in the second sentence. It's like those kind of things that kind of threw me away. And another thing that I liked about that is what you do is that you take emotions like fear, for example,
Mhm.
right, and you objectify them, and you create, for example, the red stone, right? The red stone is always
Ah, that's her magical red stone. It beats like her heart. So it's her
exactly,
intuition.
yeah,
The stone is like her intuition.
yeah. And then sometimes she lost the intuition.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes she lost the rock, and really she couldn't she couldn't function without the rock until Christo helped her find that
Find
rock.
her. Yes.
So tell me, did you is Georgia following your footsteps, or are you following her footsteps?
I think it's both. I feel I'm a conduit for whatever spirit, God, whatever you believe in. And I feel all the life experiences that I've experienced personally and through the children that I've been passengers on my love train, I call it. I've taken those experiences. Um, so as a counselor and as deal with special education
Yeah.
children and teens who have challenges, whether it's addiction, suicide, bullying.
Mm,
We've all experienced that. My
exactly.
story is your story. It just may look different. So yes,
So right.
how I write is based on life experiences, whether it's my own. Like I said, it may not look the same, but the feelings are the same. We have an umbrella of fear. Under fear
This is
is sadness, pain, jealousy, resentment, anger, and then the other is love. Well, love is agape, right? It's unconditional.
yeah. This is so wonderful. Exactly. Oh, in different words. In the last recording today that I was doing for my show, I was talking really about all these emotions and feelings that we all go through. We just have different stories. Everybody has just a
Correct.
different story. Everybody is just sharing, but we're all going through the same
Absolutely.
experiences.
Grief is never convenient. It never shows up when we want it. It's
Hmm.
how we deal with it, and we want to honor the feelings. So, I used to like, oh, I shouldn't be sad. This person has cancer. No, my pain is still just as valuable. Or I'd shove my pain aside because, oh,
Mm.
I have to be a mother. I have to take care of these students. I have no, no, no. I did a disservice. What grief taught me, and grief is pain of any kind of sort. It doesn't matter. Pain is pain. It's physical, emotional, mental, whatever it is. When I took care of myself and showed myself self-love and processed it, I was better able to serve others.
This is amazing because this brings up a point. This brings up a point that that is really great with working with children. So when you're going through grief, many times I would find that educators or parents or whatever they're working with children, they are trying to shy away, to hide away their own grief, to hide away
Yes.
their own what they're going through, to create a false sense of strength.
Thank you. So that's
Right?
why I counsel parents to communicate with their children. Because usually if the child is going through it, the parents are mirroring it.
Yeah, of course, of course, of
So
course. Totally. So basically what you're saying, and which is so completely, I totally agree with that. It is to show the child that you are going through pain, to
yes.
show the child that you are going through some kind of a grief or some kind of inconvenience or something that is really pulling you out of your zone, right?
Mhm.
But the thing is not whether it pulls you off or not, whether it's how you're dealing with this.
Yes. How we relate or how we feel to a situation is a situation.
Yeah,
So even in joy, and it's not all doom and gloom,
that's right.
doom and gloom, these knotted hurts because it feels like a knot, the knot in
Yeah,
your stomach, the knot in your throat, the knot in your head, the knot in your heart. These knotted hurts are to teach us how to unknot it.
yeah,
So we are given there to show us the opportunity. Does it feel good? No. But
absolutely.
if we
Yeah,
don't process and heal it and knot it, we're going to repeat it and repeat it
that's right.
and repeat it. Again, it's the same thing as joy. We want to embrace joy.
That's
Some
right.
people are
That's
afraid to
right.
show joy, especially if someone is hurting. No, embrace your joy and embrace your happiness. Like what I love about children, oh, the best thing about them is they don't have to think about it. When they go outside and play, they don't go, I think I'm going to go up that slide. Then they just go, they just run. And that's what I love. We don't have to lose that. We feel that we've gone through these life experiences that we can't experience play. Oh no, I love when neuroscience procreates with the woo woo because that's where the
Yeah,
magic
exactly.
is. That's where the play is.
Yeah.
This isolation that we've had this year, um, it's taught children. I kind of like that it's taught children. I'm bored. I'm bored. Ah, now they have to go to the imagination. So we're tapping back into the imagination. Where
Back
the
to where we were
imagination is,
when we were
that's
kids.
exactly, that's where
Yeah.
the intellect is. There's
Yeah.
many forms of intellect. Imagination is the greatest form. That really is the reality.
It is. It is. Imagination is like, yeah, it's what I say is when we challenge our perception, because really this is what allows us to play in the imagination field. When we're challenging
Mhm,
what we think about, whatever that which we're thinking about, or
mhm,
we challenge that how we are, and we allow other people's views to help us think, or think differently.
right.
It is really practicing that muscle of imagination. It's like going to a
It
gym.
is. You have to, it's all our muscles. It's mental, physical, emotional. If we don't use it and utilize it, it flattens. The only thing I feel like why there's so many issues and why stories and books are so important. I always encourage, I assist other authors is because that allows us to connect with something. And since we all need connection, we all need touch. And
Hmm.
so the lack of touch and connection is throwing our children and adults off. But when we can delve into music, music touches the
Yeah.
soul like a story, and movies, good beautiful movies to enhance it allows the brain cells to be reinvigorated. When you reinvigorate the mind, the body follows. So it's
This
because
is
because
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, we have three parts of our brain, right? We've got
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
emotional, the limbic, and the cortex. And, when we get emotional, the logical state shuts
That's
off,
right.
right?
That's right. That's
When
right.
we're hurt,
That's
when we're
right.
in pain,
That's right.
and it actually causes physical pain. But when you expand and that creativity, whoo, the
That's
whole
right.
world opens up.
That's amazing. This is great. But here's a question. You talked about movies, right? I love movies. I mean, I also, I put my hand in the documentary. I love movies. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: as a movie watcher, not necessarily as a maker, but as a watcher. As a watcher, I am kind of letting my imagination go away because
Oh,
I'm
because I'm
guided.
delving into.
I'm guided how to imagine. I'm taking a single point of view, and I'm being guided. So I don't know if do you
True.
think yeah. So I don't think
You
movies
can
is the
cut that
real.
out. For me, movies are, because everyone relates to a movie differently. They
Mm,
want to relate to a character on a movie, just like JoJo.
mm,
They want to
mm,
relate to her
I see.
kindness. So when I watch a movie, I'm like, how would I relate to that? Oh, I felt that before. I felt how that person has felt. It's not really the theme of the movie or
I see.
movies itself.
Mm-hmm.
It When you're in imagination, when what I mean part of the imagination is, I'm not thinking about how many bills I have to pay. I'm not thinking about, oh my gosh, I have to do this, this, and this, and oh my God, yeah,
Gotcha.
my sister-in-law has cancer. I'm in the non-reality, but the
Mm-hmm.
reality.
Mm,
I'm
I gotcha.
in the motion of it. It's like music. When I'm listening to music, it stirs lots of emotions.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Music moves me more than anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, me too. That's great. So Gina, so as a child, you as a child, did you have the freedom to imagine as much as you want?
I had the freedom to imagine because it was my imagination. Now, did I have the freedom to express it?
Or to express
Not
your
really.
yeah, yeah.
No, it was kind of made fun of. Uh, so I just kept writing. So I would just always write because that's where I love delving into a book. That
Mm,
was my escape. And I like writing. It makes me go into that imagination. But the only where I got my validation was from my teachers. And actually, Mr. Rooney he was my government teacher and he was a storyteller and he loved
yeah.
my stories. And so I used him one in my books.
Oh, this book, oh, you use them as a character in one of the children books.
Uh-huh. He's Mr. Rooney. He's a spider, but he's a tailor and he helps repair her wing.
That's cool. So really, so growing up, you really didn't have you grew up in a pretty in a quite a strict place, right? Or at least a masculine place.
It was a rule. Yes, I have three brothers,
Yeah.
and so
So
yes, I mean we explored all over. We lived on 60 acres, so there was an ostrich farm, and then we had an alligator,
an
and
alligator. How
we
can you
had
forget the
snakes,
alligator?
and we climbed trees, and had an amazing imaginative and creative upbringing. We would take off and play outside all day long. But as far as like poetry, that was really belonged to me. Where I got my validation was at school
So
through my
so
teachers. That's why I wanted to be a teacher.
yeah, to allow to give the space to children who don't who are experiencing something to what you've experienced, where the expression was kind of shut down, was kind of like nope,
Yes,
that's
yes,
not.
exactly,
Well,
exactly.
that's great. This is what's happening. We are. They say that it is said that children will always try to be the opposite of their parents, but the question is, are they really doing what they want, what they really feel like, or are they doing just to be opposite from their parents? What if what you like actually would have been like your parents? That's kind of scary sometimes.
Well, I feel because sometimes generationally,
Yeah.
whatever generation you're brought up in, you take what resonates from your upbringing and you utilize it.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
some people tend to, for example, if there is a dysfunction in our family, you can either choose to carry on the dysfunction or say, wait a minute, I don't think I want to do that. So growing up,
Well,
spanking
here's the
was
thing.
allowed,
Well, here's the thing.
right?
If you recognize that it's dysfunctional and you continue, then it's not it's dysfunctional in a different way.
Yes.
Because once you realize that it's dysfunctional, you automatically want to stop. If you continue it, then you're developing a whole new,
The cycle, correct.
a whole new
Exactly.
thing.
So it's just everybody's different. Like I said, in my era, they did SWATs at school.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Wow.
They thought it was okay. You know, no judgment. That's just the way
Wow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
Listen,
generation
the
was.
other those times. I mean, the times we grew up. I mean, there wasn't really ADD, ADHD. Although the inventor of it, while he died, he admitted that it was an invention of his, that it was really a hoax, that he invented it. But at that time that I grew up, there wasn't really something like that that would listen to the child.
No,
Oh, you have this. It's just make sure the door doesn't hit you on the way out.
right. Do it because I said
Something
so.
like that.
Wow. Okay.
That's
Right.
that's that's how I grew up in
So
Israel. It's like,
communication,
yeah,
communication is key, and books are a type of communication, just like
yeah.
music. Again, always bring up music because JoJo has a jingle, and as you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
as in sound, and it does emit a healing frequency. It
Yes.
just does. When you hear it, it lifts your spirits. I mean, my youngest client is 3 years old,
Yeah.
and she saw monsters, and her speech was delayed for 2 years. And I sat with her
Mm.
and we read the JoJo books. And then I played the song. Within 10 minutes, she had recited the whole song. Actually, her mother was sobbing in the other room. And I taught her about the JoJo, how to chase away the monsters. And now I used JoJo's magical stone and I gave her a little stone and I
Oh,
taught her how to make the monsters go away. She hasn't had a nightmare since.
that's amazing. So what you're
So,
doing, so what you're doing, you're actually, she has a world here, the child has a
mhm,
world, and you are just going into that world
yes,
and coming with her out on the other side, doing
that's
all
right.
this kind of,
The
that's,
oldest client I've had is 89, and he was, or is, hopefully not anymore, was addicted to heroin
at
and
89,
wrote
he
him. I
survived all the way to 89.
Yes, yes, 89, because he
Wow.
would stop sobriety and go back. And he said what saved him was JoJo, because he saw faith and he saw hope. So here's an 89-year-old
Hmm.
who related to a character and related to Naga, who is a vegan chef. In the book, he's a snake. So what I do is I try to depict characters that I was afraid of, or sometimes are looked down upon, like flies and snakes
Yeah,
and bees, but they're
rats.
lovely. We're all part of it,
Yeah, yeah.
And he related to Naga and it inspired him, and he's he's done
That's
therapy
amazing.
for years, and that's why stories and imagination are so important.
That's amazing. And you know what? And again, I'm referring back to what I recorded earlier, but the word of this week, of this month, that's really of this year, that's really what you just said is hope.
Hope.
Because without hope, really, and hope is not necessarily hope for something to happen or this,
Right.
but it is actually going inside, finding finding that courage within us
That's right. The inner faith.
to, yeah, exactly. That's
Mhm.
wonderful. That's just, yeah, I knew it was a good
Interfaith.
idea when you were coming on the show. So,
Oh, well, no, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I love talking about this. I love talking about children and
yeah,
fantasy. And again, we can indoctrinate play in every kind of field we have. Work, it's a form of communication. Play
that's
is a
true.
form of communication. I work with couples all the time, and we role play. And so I always bring JoJo into it. And sometimes they laugh at me and they'll like, "Isn't that a kid's book?" I'm like, "Sure."
Oh,
And I
well.
said, "First, I'm going to have you listen to the jingle." And 9 times out of 10, they
Well,
get lifted.
because what you're doing, and this is, I know because you're using this frequencies, you're using certain frequencies that is really what I call mind hacking, which is marvel.
Oh, yeah.
Is
I like
is
that.
yeah, is mind hacking really what we're doing. It's like some of the Tibetan bowls that I work with, or some of the frequency instruments that I'm working with, or even voice. Sometimes with certain frequencies of the voice, if we know what we're doing, are actually triggering triggering certain responses that the brain
Mhm.
subconsciously is um, is just activating different parts of our body.
That's right.
Okay? And
It's
so
almost gets a lecture. It's like all these little the synopsis start connecting.
yeah, Yeah, yeah,
It's a
exactly.
kinetic energy. It's harmonic resonance. It just keeps
Exactly.
going. It's like that ball of energy that you can feel.
Exactly. And if you do with your hands, right? You do with your hands, you can feel that
Oh,
ball of
yes,
energy
that's what
that
I'm.
is pulsating.
Can't you
Mm.
feel the vibration? I can feel
Of
the
course,
vibration
of
now. And
course.
then if you put that in your heart,
This is wonderful. Ah, this is great.
right?
This is great. This is great. So, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, in a way, I'm glad that your parents didn't allow you to continue with poetry, because otherwise you wouldn't be here working with children.
Right. Well, I always wrote it. I just didn't share it. And now they love it and embrace it. But at the time, they were busy with their lives and nothing. I mean, I love my parents. There was so much love. I was just different. And I
Yeah,
love being different. And that's why my characters are different. Different
yeah.
is beautiful.
Different is everything is beautiful. To be
Everything
honest
is
with you,
beautiful.
different is
Everything is
because we
beautiful.
are different because we are in a place of that everybody wants to, not everybody, but many people wants to assimilate, and
Yeah.
when we're doing something different, it's just it stands out.
Mhm.
So but in the past, I think different, the reason today we say different is beautiful, because in the past different was considered to be, oh, you're different, good,
You're weird.
you're weird.
Yeah.
And we we know how that is especially not the case. This is
Exactly.
especially. And I like these books. This guy, this Christo guy, comes out of nowhere. Your son,
Yes.
did he come out of nowhere, actually?
He's always been a protector.
Yeah,
He's yeah, my
that's
children are my
great.
heart and soul, and yeah.
I love the now here's another thing that you guys didn't know. You just recently was given an animation for JoJo, right?
Animation, yes, yes. I'm so
And you're
excited. We
yeah.
really brought her to life. Why my intention was that, and these are two Pixar employees. They have their own company now. They work with Stan Lee, and they know this animation world. And I'm so grateful that they believed in JoJo and me, and our mission to share with the world love. It's all
Mm,
about love. And what I love about it is obviously this year it was very difficult for me to read to the children. I normally go to hospitals and schools. And so I do story time. I've been doing story time actually since my kids were little. And so with JoJo, I've always done story time. And
mm.
now I have an animation to share with the children all over the globe. I just had someone from India listen to it and loved it. And I had another one that says, "Oh my gosh, my crown chakra just went crazy." She is a 53-year-old woman. She goes,
This
I
is
I
amazing.
mean, the feedback has been amazing. That's why I'm asking to share. It's not about me. It's not about anything. It's about
Well, it's about
sharing
it is about your
what I've
gift
done.
that you bring, yes,
Right.
and
I'm the
and it's the
conduit. I feel
healing,
very blessed
yes.
to be the conduit. And so I am going to start story time again. I've been asked, all these children and the parents have been writing me and DMing me and giving me feedback. And they're like, please do a story time. And although I love live, I like to be in the presence of them.
Yeah,
We're in this new world where it's virtual, so I'm going to do story time.
yeah. No, this
So
is great. I
yeah.
see two people here, actually.
Uh-oh.
Not me. I'm talking in your square. I see two people. I see
Oh
the
yeah.
I see the child, and I see you, and you're interchanging so beautifully. It is wonderful because I
Oh,
see
thank
your
you.
your 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 wondrous experience coming out, and then you talk about it. So you're doing story time. You're doing how do you call
I'm going to
this,
start filming story time. So
story
it's
time? Yeah, there
something
you
I
go.
can share with the children and I can give it to all over the world. Like I said, it's for schools, it's for orphanages, it's for hospitals. I could read JoJo and bring them to her now. I'm so blessed for the virtual world. I mean, I'd rather be in their presence
Hmm.
and there's nothing like their little hugs. But
Yeah.
for me, every child, every inner child that holds my books, even seeing you hold it, for me, it's like a love hug. It's like
Hmm.
like we're embracing each other. We're
Yeah.
embracing one another. And that's what it's all about. In the end, it's
Yes.
what it's all about. We come in with the breath and we go out with the breath.
Yeah.
And
The.
everything in between is our being and our choice. And what
Hmm.
we're trying to do is create this heaven on earth.
Yeah. Well, that is true. Heaven is here. It is really how we look at things.
Yeah.
In the Hebrew
Mhm.
language, the fifth letter is one of the most important letters because it's the feminine letter. Hey.
Oh,
Hey, this is how you pronounce it. Hey, like you say, like hay
hey,
house, right? Hey,
hey, hey,
like hey, you, hey. But
hey.
hey is this is also how we come into this world. We come with a, and we live with a, and you
Exactly.
exactly. And it is the feminine letter. It is a feminine letter. So
Oh,
everything in Hebrew that is femininized, right,
I
has
like
a
that. That
hey.
was a tongue twister for me. I'm not
Yeah,
going to even repeat that.
femininized, right? I don't
La,
know
la, la, la.
how many, but you have a hey at the end, and
Yes.
that makes it like yeled, yelda, right?
Yalta. Yeah.
Yelda, a
Beautiful.
boy, a girl, yeled, yelda, right? So,
Yalta.
so you have that hey, that fifth letter, which is kind of like almost like a pillar of the alphabet
Oh,
language.
I love.
Fairy angel Jojo flies high and low. With her magical stone swoops down the tree home. Adventure bound and all around. She plays and sings and loves all things. She's Fairy angel Jojo. Fairy angel Jojo, no one could tell her no, no, because she believes in her magical wings and all the beautiful things. You can have them too. Just believe in you.
I believe in you.
She's Fairy Angel Jojo.
Love
This
that.
is wonderful. This is wonderful. This is
Oh,
really,
thank you.
really a fun time. I mean, spending time with you and spending time with your stories and how you work
Thank
with
you.
adults and how you work with children
And animals.
uh, and
I
animals
went to the Wolf
within
Connection. I worked with wolves, and I'm telling you, I read the JoJo book there, and
to the wolves.
yeah, and they
Really?
start.
Oh, that's cool.
Woo!
Oh, because those are wolves that are being that are being protected. Let's put it in context, okay?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
just go out in the woods and go
yeah.
woo.
Let's put it in context.
Although that would be fun, I probably would.
That would be interesting.
But
So you went to a sanctuary, actually,
mhm,
right? You
yes,
went to a sanctuary. So tell us about this experience. Tell me about this experience.
it's so beautiful. Once you step into that space, these wolves are like us. They go through the same amount of pain. Their voice, the howling are messages.
Hmm.
It's just like children, how they communicate. They're crying because they're trying to communicate. And they do smile. And the wagging of the tail is like us going, woohoo. And there's so many stories, pain stories that they've been through, trauma, but such love. They want to come back to love. I mean, they're like, oh, were you afraid? I had my friends and everything. I wasn't afraid at all. And in fact, it's motivation for my fifth book. I'm going to have a wolf called Lupo.
Wait.
And
Before you get to Lupo,
okay, okay,
so tell me about when you read
okay.
the book there. Tell me about when you
So when
read
I
the book.
read the book, they just looked, they just paid attention. Their attention was on it. And of course, you speak calm and you respect their space. You always want to respect the space. And they listened. They just
Hmm.
sat there and listened. Either they were on the ground or they listened because they're kind of all lined up.
That's fun.
So,
That's
well, it's
beautiful.
proven. I mean, the Wolf Connection is great because they have children go there and with special needs or challenges and they communicate.
Where is it?
Oh, it's in Palmdale.
Oh, in Palmdale, inland, right? Oh, that's
Yes,
cool.
and you can like hike with the wolves.
Oh, that's
So I
wonderful.
felt so honored they invited me and was able to, play with the wolves.
That's wonderful. That's
So,
wonderful.
and they
So
had
you
a
have,
big yurt. I learned a new
oh,
word, yurt.
yurt.
Yeah, so it's like a fun tent.
Yeah. I have, yeah, I have the yurt in the background, in the backyard, kind of a small one,
Okay.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So now tell me about Lupo.
Okay.
By the way,
So
how did
my
you get
fourth.
to a name like Lupo? Well, I mean, where did that
Oh,
come
it's
from?
it's Italian. I'm Italian. I'm
Okay.
Sicilian Norwegian. So Lupo is Italian for wolf, and he's going to be a hobo, which I love, and he's going to have a magical bindle with lots of magical things in it. And because I hopped a freight train 4 years ago from
Why it
Van Nuys
was,
to
why it
Ojai.
was, why it was moving.
Well, I was moving. Yeah, I was moving, hopped on it. And I went from Van Nuys to Ojai. So JoJo's from JoJo Joins the Sea Show with with Sea Angel Bobo, which is
Mm-hmm.
dedicated to my daughter. She
Mm-hmm.
ends up, every adventure ends up to the next adventure.
Mm-hmm.
She hops a freight train, and that's where Lupo is, and a peacock named Rena. And the peacock is a gypsy.
Hmm.
So, but
That's
Lupo, I
hilarious.
learned so much from the wolf connection and about what alpha means. Alpha is doesn't mean hoo, I'm a
Right.
fighter,
Yeah, yeah.
macho. Alpha means the ones that everybody turns to, like a healer.
Mm.
So everybody turns to healers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they want assistance and they want to get that guidance through whatever they're going through. And
Yes.
that's what the alpha wolf is, the same thing. That's who they all turn to. It's not about fighting.
Never.
It's about
Yeah.
calmness.
Yeah. This is the old paradigm where people are
Exactly.
just like, ha 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 ha. Ha.
Yeah. Hoo. No, it's not about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-mm.
This is so wonderful. Wow.
No,
I'm
thank
I'm
you.
ready. I'm waiting for
I'm
the
writing it right
Lupo.
now.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's
Right.
great. That's
So
great.
Bobo will be coming out soon. So, and like I said, the animation is, I just invite people to listen to it, and whatever they have, they have. There's no, it's what you get from it. I'm not
Mm.
going to say, just like my stories, I give you the ending, but you determine what ending you want it to feel like.
That's wonderful. And first, and all your information will be underneath here, all your
Oh, thank
website and
you.
everything, of course, of course. And what a wonderful sentence to really end our show. You decide what the end looks like. This is perfect.
Thank
Gina,
you.
thank you
Well,
so much. Thank you so much
thank
for
you.
bringing your stories and your wonder to here and to the children and to the world, because we
Thank you
all
so much.
adults are children. Yeah, you're
We
welcome.
are.
Yeah, we
We
are
are. Thank you. I
children.
really appreciate you having me on. And I
Of
always get
course.
excited when you're excited, then see the energy of exchange.
Of
So
course, of course. This is
thank
how
you
we
so
roll.
much.
This is how we
Yes.
roll.
I want to learn. I used to do sign language. I want
Uh-huh.
to do sign language for the kids.
This is
And I want,
wonderful. This is what I wanted to bring out, because today one of the interviews was with the Israeli Circle of Listening, which is working with children that are deaf and
oh,
they have problem hearings. And one of the guests is a rock singer from Tel Aviv that she is half deaf.
oh,
And I know she's a good friend, and so the
I
show
want to learn
will.
again.
Yeah, so this is really great.
Oh,
So today what I've learned is, I mean, I knew it for a while, but on the show today, that I love you is this. This
uh-huh,
sign is I love you, right? Yeah.
uh-huh. Yep.
So
That's, I
so
love
this
you.
is so this is really a blessing. Thank you, Gina, very much. This is all her
Thank you.
information here, her Facebook, her website, all that. And thank you all
Thank you.
who are watching here, who have the courage to look beyond and to dare and to will and to have this will and to come from a place of wonder. And I wish you all, and I wish to everybody, a wonderful year, a year of possibilities, a year of imagination and the expression of it. Thank you all very much. Much love. This is Abracadabra.
Okay.
Create what you speak. I'm iLan Azoulai. Take care.
You're listening to Abracadabra. Create what you speak with iLan Azoulai. Only on LA Talk Radio.